Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't been here before, my name is Tracy and this is a DIY upcycling channel. And today we're working on these jeans. They have poppy appliques from an old towel, stenciling, patches, distressing. I have a pair of Levi's. They're 38/30. So they're way too big on me. So when I sew these back together, I'm going to have to come in a lot at the top. But we'll do that all later. But for now, I went to the side seam and 1/2 inch behind it. I cut the jeans all the way open on both sides. I went to my scrap denim and I pulled some pieces that weren't super high contrast. And I cut out 2 squares for the front. So there's the bottom. I actually cut about 1 inch off the bottom too because these were pretty long. So I have a patch that I'm going to pin right here that's about 3.5 inches. And then this one right here, which is about 4.5 inches. I'll just slip some cardboard in between the pant legs and pin those on quick. Okay, so on the back side, I'm taking a light colored patch that's about 5 by 5, and I zigzag stitched a dark color patch kind of off center, and that's about 2 by 2, and I'm going to pin that right there. Now, before I get too much going on here, I'm going to sew this one on and the 2 in the front, and I'm going to use a zigzag stitch and stay close to the edges. And I'll use a gold color thread because that's the thread that originally made these jeans. I'm going to bring this in closer so you can see the details better, but basically what I've been doing is taking a piece of tailor's chalk, drawing out areas where I want to cut out and patch from behind, and I just have some fabric remnants from my storage space, pieces of quilt, shirt, things like that, and then did the same on the back as well, but I'll bring it in closer. I'll hold my ruler here for reference, but you do whatever you want. So I cut out a rectangle here, and I am just pinning from behind these patches. So here I've got a rectangle. Here I have an oddball little circle with some polka dots. There's that first denim patch that we did. Here's now down here, did sort of an oblong piece and a larger one down here, and I actually cut into that first patch. Okay, now the back side. Now on the back side, I did a little polka dot patch just on the outside, and then on the pocket, if I put a patch at the top of the pocket, I can get my machine in there. It's just a little floral flannel. And then for this pocket, I stuck a piece of cardboard in and then took my Slice brand box cutter and just distressed that a little bit right there. And then over here I have a rectangle. There's our denim. A little piece of tapestry, another little piece of flannel. And they're all pinned from behind. Now I'm going to sew them all on with a zigzag stitch. Now I'm going to put them in my washer and dryer on just a normal setting that I use for jeans. That will get all the edges of the patches frayed, the holes frayed. I will be painting these, and after I paint them, I can't wash them for 2 weeks. So I want all that fraying to happen now. Okay, they're out of the dryer. Now I want to paint them. I'm starting on the back, and I have some stencils, and I'll give you a close-up of those in a second. But basically what I want to do is paint down from under the pocket, kind of down this leg, and then details down at the bottom of this leg, and then I'll turn it over. But I'll show you my stencils. I'm not sure if I got these at Hobby Lobby or Amazon. I'll check my Amazon records, and if I got them on there, I'll try to put a link. So there's just multiple sort of designs on this sheet and on this sheet. What I want is a fine little detailed pattern all over. I don't want like big globs. So I think I like this sort of branch. I think I will just sort of recreate it all over the pants. And then I'm thinking maybe a flower here and there, but these flowers are too chunky for my vision. So I may do something like this flower or this flower kind of sporadically. I'll have to see how I'm feeling when I get in there. I'm going to start with the stencil stippling brush. Sometimes that just takes way too long, and I switch to just like a old brush out of my garage that's a lot bigger, but it's not as clean. So we'll see what I end up doing. I am going to paint everything with this acrylic craft paint antique white, and I'll put some on my paper plate. And then I'm going to take some textile medium or fabric medium and just do a little squirt on there, and I'll just stir it up with my brush. I'm going to start under the pocket. If you've stenciled before, you know you kind of take your stipple brush, you load it up, and then you kind of dab it off. With fabric, you don't need to dab so much off because it absorbs it so quickly. I may not even dab any off, but we'll start it right and see how it goes. And I will just pounce on this little branch that I want. I like to have a paper towel or a towel sitting next to me. Just kind of rub the back of that so when I switch it to a new area, I don't get any paint on the jeans where I don't want it. I'm going to do a little overlapping so that it's nice and full. Okay, so one pant leg. I think I like how that looks. Now I'm going to try to add a few flowers. I am going to work on the opposite pant leg in the back. Okay, now I have this side done. I'm going to let these dry, and I'll show you what they look like kind of put back together, and then I'll do the front. Okay, back is dry, and that's what that's looking like. I thought this area was looking plain, so I cut the pocket off. Now on the front side, I'm going to start way up at the top, and I'll put more paint on this side, more stenciling than I will this side. This side I may just kind of trickle a little bit down through here and fill this in. Okay, here's what the other side looks like. I added a few flowers, and I also stenciled the bottom of the inside of each pant leg because it's very likely I'll wear these rolled up. Now what I want to do is I have this old towel that I thrifted, and I tea stained it a long time ago for another project, and I'm cutting out some flowers. I'm not backing them or anything, And I want to do a little cluster on the leg where it has the least amount of stenciling, and then I'll turn it over and do a little cluster on the back. So I'm going to get these pinned on, and then with a small zigzag stitch, I'll stitch around all the edges, staying fairly close to the edge. Okay, I have the front all sewn on. Now I'm going to turn it over and just do a few on the back. I'm putting a lot less on the back, and I'm putting it on the side that has the most stencils, because I think it's okay to give your eye, this is so much going on, I think it's okay to give your eye sort of a visual rest. So I'll just keep this real busy over here and leave that a little more plain. That's what the back looks like sewn on. Now all I have to do is sew the sides back together. And I like to do it wrong sides together so that the frayed edge is on the outside, down the sides. And I typically start at the top every time on both sides, go down the side with a straight stitch, a 1/4 inch seam allowance, till you get to the very bottom, and then when you're done with the first stitch, come back and do it again, because you want these extra durable. So just double stitch it, stay right on top of the same line that you made the first time. With that being said, I have to take mine in a lot. So I'll bring it a little closer and show you the best way I'm figuring out how to do that. Okay. So mainly I'm going to be concerned with this part. I want to bring my stitch line in 1 1/4 inches. That actually takes it in 2 1/2 on each side. So what I think I'll do is come down and measure 4 inches and stick a pin. Okay, so now I'm going to, from the side over, take a ruler and a piece of tailor's chalk and measure the 1 1/4 inch and make a line. I want to try to make this as straight as I can. So I want a 1/4 inch seam allowance past this pin from here on down. So I'm going to kind of come in a 1/4 inch. I'll mark it, but I can really just kind of eyeball that. So from this line to there, I'm going to take my ruler and draw a line the best I can. I think I'll actually use a marker. So this I'll sew at an angle, and when I get to here, I'll just try to taper and just keep sewing a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way down. Because of the way it goes into my machine, I actually had to redo that on the back. I'm using a denim needle, going nice and slow, and keeping my hand near the hand crank when I get to these tough seams. All sewn. I tried them on. They fit perfect. Now I'm going to trim that extra wide piece off. Okay, here they are again. Now I'll bring it in a little closer in a second. I could have put this with some heels or some platform mules. That would be really cute, but this is really comfy for me. This top is not a tutorial, but all it was a thrifted sort of shrug cover-up lacy piece that I got at the thrift store, and it didn't have any closure, so I sewed the front shut, cropped it, added flared sleeves and a ruffle to the bottom and a couple little lacy butterflies. All right, so I just want to answer one question I've been getting frequently recently. So in the past, I've done videos and kind of explained why I always do men's jeans. But I haven't talked about that in a while, and I've got a lot of new subscribers. So let me just go over why I personally like men's jeans, but it's personal preference. You can do whatever you want. I like more of a straight boyfriend cut. Women's jeans tend to be a little curvier. I like them straight. I like them oversized, and men's jeans have nice wide legs. They have deep pockets. They're typically 100% cotton, and I always kind of like the wash of men's jeans over a lot of women's jeans. So that's why. All right, I'll bring it in a little closer so you can have a better look, and I thank you so much for watching.